to step on the scale. Please welcome, he'll be making the 4th defense of his title, the undefeated IBF lightweight champion of the world, Robert Easter Jr. $134.5 pounds for Robert Easter. 134.5.
Under 135 again. 5'11", an aberration.
Gentlemen, the undefeated, the reigning, and the current WBC lightweight champion of the world, Mikey Garcia.
Mikey Garcia facing huge height and reach disadvantages.
135 pounds right at the lightweight limit. We have a fight. The unified IBF and WBC
does what the champion's supposed to do. Comes right.
I'm really looking forward to this fight now. You know, I got to admit, at first when it was announced, I was like, we kind of, you know, saw this coming. But now I'm really looking forward to this fight. Now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when both of these fighters face off, right? It's going to be the height of Robert Easter, correct? You would think that it should be his strategy to win all of his fights is to use his height to you know, focus on, you know, the developing a dominant jab, especially in a division where him being 5'11", you know, it's a rarity for somebody to be that tall and be able to weigh in, you know, at, you know, the 130, to weigh in at 134.5. Let's go see if this was the lowest he's ever weighed in at. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. It's going to be taking place on Showtime, and I believe it's on Box Nation 2 over in the UK. Tomorrow night, July the 28th, 2018, it's over in the Staples Center in LA, and it's crazy that it's been like 7 years since Mikey Garcia fought in LA. Look at that height difference. You know, but Robert Easter, the lowest he's ever weighed in, we got a 133 right there. And, you know, he's never had any issues from what we've seen making weight, from my understanding, right? So, you know, he's always in good condition. He's never usually known to be gassing out. And by the way, you know, I cover all his fights. I think he has a really good chance because Mikey Garcia is talking about moving up to 147. I wasn't too impressed with him at 140 against Sergey Lipinets, even though he did get the knockdown and he did win the fight. But moving up to 147 and just, you know, talking Errol Spence's name, to me, it's like, you know, I understand he wants to be great, and I'm all for it. If it ever was to happen, if Mikey Garcia was to get past Robert Easter tomorrow night, and he was to say, yeah, you know, I'm going to move on, you know, in the December, you know, Errol Spence, you know how they was be like, where you at? You know, I'm going to be all for it. But on the flip side, Errol Spence is not going to get any credit if he beats Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is going to be able to use the excuse, well, I should have never went up to 147, you know, but there's that greatness aspect there because if Mikey Garcia wins, you know. But let's face it, the facts are people are predicting Mikey Garcia to outclass, you know, to pretty much dominate Robert Easter. In my opinion, if Robert Easter, you know, stands straight up, moves around the ring, and uses his reach, he's got a new trainer now, even though it's not necessarily a new camp, is more so a new, you know, guy in charge in Kevin Cunningham. But I do expect to see differences. You know, I'm hoping to see differences. You know, I'm hoping that he uses this crazy, you know, reach, you know, and height advantage instead of smothering his punches against guys like Javier Fortuna. By the way, he's 21-0 with 14 KOs. Last fight, Javier Fortuna, very good fight. I was actually there. Last fight I went to before I got sick. Dennis Shefakov, Luis Cruz, Richard Comey. He's been in some, you know, some wars, some slugfests. When if you looked at the fights and you watched, you could see he didn't have to do that. You know, it seems as though people were looking at him in his corner, you know, and commentators for these fights. Damn, motherfucker. I cleared my car today, left the door open. Ugh! I can't stand it. Flies are just the most annoying, you know. But anyway, forgot what I was saying, man. Forgot what I was saying. Oh, commentators screaming like, if he uses his height, he uses his reach, he just doesn't. He smothers his punches. If he ever listens and if he ever really, really tries to be the boxer, puncher, this fight, he's got to show it. He's got to show us that he can stand up and, he's got boxing ability and he's not just some tall slugger at 135, Let's go look at the division. Now, it seems logical to me that Mikey Garcia really would fight Errol Spence because if he were to win, Robert Easter, if he wins, he'll likely stay and it'll likely be him against Mikey Garcia again in a rematch. Unless, Mikey Garcia just gets brutally knocked out or something. But if Robert Easter was to win, I'm sure there would likely be a rematch between him and Mikey Garcia. They wouldn't bullshit around and have an interim fight or, fuck it up like they did with Leo Santa Cruz versus Abner Maris 2 when it just came across a little too late. But in this case, if Mikey Garcia, were to win, right? If Mikey Garcia was to win, you got Lomachenko and you got Ray Beltran, both ESPN fighters. Ray Beltran is fighting Jose Pedraza soon. Lomachenko is coming back in the late fall, early winter. So he'd be a unified champion. He would have to go the route of either fighting his mandatory. This right here, Yvan Mindy, Luke Campbell rematch will likely, it's very likely it's going to end up on Joshua versus Povetkin. And this will be for the WBC mandatory. Remember, he'll have that and that IBF too. Richard Comey, will he be the mandatory? Will he be ordered to fight somebody like one of these guys for the mandatory? Fans are not going to be pleased, even though, by right, he'll have to either drop his belt, or be stripped or fight either Richard Comey or whoever they order him to fight, And these names are not appetizing as well. It makes no sense for him to go to 140. After all, majority of the good fighters are involved in the World Boxing Super Series. And then you got Alex Saucedo versus Maurice Hooker, who are ordered to fight. So they're out of the mix in their top rank, right? You may say, well, he could wait around for the winner. No, that time frame don't add up. He'll be able to squeeze in 2 more fights by then. And he's talking about fighting Errol Spence. So when I look at 147, I'm thinking, well, shit, if he ain't going to fight at 140, then I'm thinking that, he could fight Errol Spence. But will he fight Errol Spence in December? Spence is supposed to return in December. And the way things are matching up, Mikey Garcia is on that timeline, too, to be able to get another fight in by July, or December. So, we'll see, man. But I got to apologize, man. I'm sorry. I had a busy ass week, running around, court and everything. And, getting my body back together. But listen, trust me, we got some busy weeks ahead. And I know people are saying, like, well, you cool. You've been putting out videos. You putting out more than you was before. But no, man, I'm still not where I want to be. But we close. We like a few more weeks away, man. So I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling too. Getting to press conferences and shit like that. Doing like road trips. So, please subscribe. I'm going to be here tomorrow night after the fights. And it's a lot of fights we're going to be covering tomorrow. The Joseph Parker. This card right here, Garcia versus Easter, has 13 fights on it. So I'm preparing from like 1 p.m. Eastern time until about 1 a.m. or so, sitting here at this computer, and just watching fights all day long. So, shit going to be lit, man. Come chill with me tomorrow. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.